Hey guys, Fabuleaky here, and welcome to another speed build of the house entitled 1 Dot. I really don't know why it's called that. I couldn't think of a name. I'm terrible with names, and for some reason I called it 1. I think there was a reason I called it 1. I was like, it's 1 something, but I got rid of the second word and left it as 1 to make it sound fancy. Now, anyways, enough rambling on about that. This house was actually inspired by a build I saw in Minecraft. It was kind of a modern house type build in Minecraft, and I was really impressed by it. So I wanted to do something similar in Minecraft. And at the moment, you can see now I'm messing around with the entranceway, which will change a fair bit in a minute. But anyways, the idea behind this is the driveway is kind of sunken below. I was going to have the entrance at the bottom of the house, which is why you see the stairs going down, but that changes later on. But yeah, the driveway is sunken down a bit, so then you kind of have a basement level, and then a ground floor level, and then a second level, which is kind of how it goes. You'll see it kind of unfolding. I was just kind of playing around. I didn't really know what I wanted to do at this point. Well, I kind of know. I knew my inspiration of what I wanted to build. Kind of a modern house. Well, it is a modern house. A modern house, family home kind of styled, and just well suited, I suppose, for, I don't know, a family on a small lot. Because this lot is 20 by 30, which is the same size lot I did the previous build on. So I'm using the same amount of space, just building an entirely different house. And it actually looks pretty big on the outside, but the inside ends up being, unfortunately, quite small. But, I mean, I work with it as best as I can. And sorry for the kind of background noise. I was just moving around in my chair. But, yeah, anyway, so you can see the entrance has changed entirely now, because I did originally have the entrance on the lower floor. But now I've moved it up onto the first floor, or the ground, I don't know what to call it. I suppose it's the ground floor, because the floor below that is kind of a basement. So we'll call the level I'm on now the ground floor, and the one above the first floor, or the second floor, I don't know. So yeah, anyways, now I'm playing around with the sort of balcony out the back. I didn't know if I wanted it to be floating. I tried to put a pool in. The pool really didn't do it for me. Like, it didn't work. I didn't like how it fit in, and no, I got rid of it. I couldn't handle it. It was not my styling. I was trying to do it again here, and I thought that would work pretty well. There's a couple of problems with it. First of all, it's really small. Second of all, the walls are paper thin. There's no wall there. It's absolutely infinitely thin. It's a plane. It doesn't make any sense. But so I in the end, I got rid of the pool. It was too small. It didn't really work at all. So there's no pool in this house. There is a little fountain though, like the fountain tool. That will show up later. That's pretty exciting. I just put it in there because the water looks nice, basically. that was the idea behind that. And now I always end up with these big flat walls, and you can see here I'm trying to make this wall not flat. First of all, by doing that, which actually, like, what the hell is that? I thought that'd be a good idea, but it was a terrible idea. So I work with the idea of taking a cut out of it, and I kind of come up with this little kind of corridor thing here that splits the house in two. Well, originally it splits it in two, but it changes later on as well. It progresses and changes and evolves into a different design. But initially, you can see the house is completely split in two. And then I'm like, might as well put a little bridge here to connect the two. And then I changed the underneath there, because we can see where the car is parked. Now you got a little walkway in there. But that does change again, so there's a lot of changing in this, because a lot of this is building. And people often ask, how do I plan out my houses, and how do I start building a house? Well, the honest truth is I don't plan out my houses at all. I don't decide what I want to do before I build. I just build randomly on the fly, and whatever I come up with, I work with. And if I think it looks disgusting, I don't like it, it looks like unattractive, I'll change it and keep working with it until I get something that I like the look of, basically. And that was what was happening with this house. As it happens with all of my houses, I often change little bits and pieces all over the place, trying to get it to work well and to get it to a point where it looks good enough. It satisfies me personally that I think that looks good. And that's what I do with my houses. The only time I guess you could say I planned, that was inverted air quotes in that voice. The only time you could say I planned it was if I'm getting inspiration from somewhere. Like, this was inspired by a build I saw in Minecraft. I don't know if I'm going to be able to... I don't know. I'm not going to be able to find it, because it was just randomly on YouTube somewhere. I was just searching stuff and came over this build that someone had made, and it looked pretty cool. I think it was a guy with quite a lot of subs, though, like maybe 100,000 or something. It was... Anyways, I'm not going to be able to find it again. But it inspired me. So that was the idea I had. That was the plan for this lot. But other than that, I'm just building all over the place. And you can see there, the house is actually separated into two parts on the lower floor. And that actually just changes soon because it just turns out to be completely impractical. And the entire lower floor at the end of this house is actually kind of really super useless. I don't mean to say that, but it becomes a really awkward space that's really hard to fill with stuff. Because it ends up having a lounge room and just random, like, it has a chess table and a treadmill and is that it? I think that's all. Oh, and a piano. Oh, a keyboard, sorry. And that was all I did down there because there was no room. There's just no room. Anyway, so now I'm doing the color of the house, you can say. I've gone for a sort of brown stucco rendering and contrast it with some nice sort of stones there for all the columns and all the accents of the house. And then I also throw in a green sort of rendering color because to just sort of add to it, add a bit more definition. And it also sort of ties in, like, it's good natural colors because you got the brown, you got the green, and you got the stone. It's all that kind of natural colors and textures. And I don't know, that's kind of what this house turned into, kind of a naturally themed exterior. The inside isn't at all, like, there's no correlation on the inside to the outside. But yeah, I spend a lot more time planning the outsides than I do on the insides because I always build on the outside what I think looks good, and then I'll kind of play with the inside till I eventually get an interior that works. To my, oh god, I'm just looking at the video and it's going all over the place like really fast. Yeah, this one's quite a long one, and that was because this was 2 hours and 50 minutes to build. That was the final length of the footage before I sped it up. I sped this one up 8 times, which, like I said before, is my maximum I'm willing to speed up a video, just because beyond that it just gets incredibly hard to actually watch anything happening. Though at this point, if you're still here, usually the general consensus is that you're doing something else at the same time and just listening. And if you hear something interesting happen, you might click back once in a while, or you might click back every 5 minutes to see what's happening. But other than that, you're probably just listening, and that's cool too, because you're still on the video, and I respect that. Anyways, well, I'm just kind of playing around with the interior here. Nothing too special is happening right now, really. Just trying to design the interior and trying to figure out what can go where. I had a bit of trouble with the stairs, actually. Where they are now, I wanted them to go there, but if you actually look at the house right now, well, not right now because you can't really see it, but when you do see it, the area is actually really small. There's not a lot of space to work with, and the interior actually became a lot of a really big challenge later on. But yeah, anyway, so I want to talk about a few other things that I've been absolutely kind of like busy with and all over the place with, and I've actually got, like, for someone who is not at school, is not at university, and currently does not actually have a job, so I'm pretty much at home most of the time, or hanging out with friends or something like that. But anyway, for someone who's in that position, I am actually really busy. I'm doing a whole number of like little projects and things I'm working on, and that is the main reason that's keeping me from doing regular videos. Like, I really want to, but there's so much going on right now. Anyways, I was going to tell you a bit about it, and so you know what's going on. Right, so firstly, I'm working on the Sim Supply website, which some of you may know used to exist. It used to be a website. We were originally a website, and then we moved to YouTube. But since the site is closed, and now it's YouTube only. However, we're going back to the website, and it's going to open up, and you're going to be able to upload your lots, like the houses you make, to our website. And my idea for it was, because it's all the community sharing their work and their lots, that I would do a showcase, like maybe at the end of every week, of the lots that I think are the best of the week, maybe the top 3 of the week or something like that, and just showcase them to the community on this channel so people can go download them and check them out. It'd be really cool. And I was also going to start up, some of you may remember, don't know how long you've been around, but I used to do a kind of a podcast type of thing called Day 7, which was just the weekly Sims news, like what's been happening in the world of the Sims, what's been going on. Maybe there's new expansion pack news, new screenshots, new announcements, that kind of stuff would be covered in that podcast. So I'll be doing that weekly on the website. and because you can upload your lots to our site, we could also hold competitions where you upload your lot to our site, and maybe the winner receives, I don't know, sim points, or maybe an expansion pack you don't have. Something like that would be really cool. But anyways, the site is going to be coming back. It's going to be open for everyone. It's going to be free, obviously. There's no pay for anything, because some sim sites require you to pay for premium content. We're not going to do any of that. I think that's ridiculous, and it should be 100% free, and that's what we're going to do. So I'm working on that firstly, and with that in itself is a big project. And that requires designing the site, coding the site, and then testing it and making sure it all works, and then opening it to the public, which will be happening. I'm really hoping, I'm really hoping to get it done within the next 30 days. That is my goal. I don't know I honestly can't say if it's going to happen, but that is when I want to get done by. So the 12th of February is when I want to have it done by at the latest, but I have no guarantees if that's going to happen or not. Now, the second thing I'm working on is a secret project with me and a couple of others. And I don't want to say too much, but it requires a website as well. So that means I'm working on 2 websites currently, and it's quite a lot of work, let me tell you. So I'm doing those 2 things there, but it's not just a website. There's a whole other part of it that you don't know about yet, but that will be all announced later on down the line when it's officially here and all that is happening. But it's going to be pretty exciting. It's going to be really cool, and I'm hoping you guys will love it. And now, there's another thing that's come up very recently, which I don't believe I'm allowed to talk about yet, so I'm not going to. But they'll say when I can talk about it. But anyways, it's something so amazing that I'm just so excited about it, and I really want to tell you guys, but I can't yet. I don't know. It's thanks to you guys. It's thanks to all of you guys that this has happened, and I'll tell you more about it later when I can. But I don't know, it's really cool. Anyways, now back to the house. So those are the things I'm doing. Sorry, before I go back to the house. So the things I'm doing right now, the 3 main things, 2 of which are completely secret and you don't even know. So that doesn't really explain much. But one of them is the SimSupply website, which is a lot of work in itself. So I'm doing that. And and there's also because I said before I didn't work, but I do work. I work for Wombat Servers, which is an Australian Minecraft server host. So I work for them. So I do kind of stuff here and there for that. So that's also taking up a bit of time. That is not too much. So anyways, that's another thing I'm doing. But that kind of explains what is going on. Because I've got quite a few major projects I'm working on right now, which is taking a lot of time. Which is, to be honest, I think it really sucks. Mainly because I was hoping to relax in this period where I don't have school or anything. But I was also hoping to excel at YouTube and that kind of stuff. But that's also not really happening right now. But the stuff I am doing is related to YouTube. It's just preventing me from doing videos currently, which is kind of annoying. But in the long term, it's going to be good. So I'm looking forward to finishing off those little projects and all that kind of stuff, so I can get back just to doing what I did before, just videos, casually having fun, and all that kind of stuff. But right now, you can see I've just almost finished out the main living area, which has got the kitchen, the dining, and the living area. And you can see it's all got kind of a black-grey kind of theme with the accent of red and green. So you got the red pots for the plants, and then the green leaves, the green rug, and some nice sort of abstract paintings on the wall. I don't know, I did actually really like that color scheme. I don't think I've done anything like that before, having a dark furniture and that kind of stuff before. And I didn't even know what was going on. I just found this option that said thumbnail view, and you click on stuff and it'd move the camera to a weird position. So I was having fun with that. So I decided to use these spotlights for the first time ever, which came in, I think it was high-end loft stuff. They're like spotlights that go on the roof, and they are one hell of an absolute bee to use for a couple of reasons. One, by default, they are super dark. So you have to go in there and change their brightness all the time, and they glitch out when you change one and the others go dark, and you have to change them again to make it work. So that was one pain in the ass. And then the second is, because they're slightly tilted, the light isn't centered directly below the light. So sometimes the walls get super black and they're really dark, and I don't know, it's really weird. And you have to have a lot of them to light the room is the other thing. But they're pretty small, so I think it's alright for gameplay as well. So hopefully that should be alright for you guys as well. I was just doing the bathroom in there. It's pretty generic bathroom, nothing too special about it. And because I've got those giant windows everywhere, you saw before I was putting up blinds on every single window because I thought that made it a bit more realistic and gives you some privacy at least. Because if you have giant full wall windows and all that, you're not going to have any privacy. So you do need blinds or curtains or something. So I decided to put them in there for a little touch of detail. Oh yeah, there's those little tables I was talking about in the last one. And everyone's like, oh, they exist. They came in something. I don't know. No, it wasn't Ambitions. I don't know. He said they came in some expansion pack. And I was like, oh yeah, there they are. But they were not my style at all. Because they were that kind of fancy kind of style. And that doesn't suit modern. So I forgot about it. Didn't use them this time. But now I know they're there. Which is fantastic. And I've gone for the nice dark sort of plastic. I don't know what you call it. I don't think it wouldn't be a plastic material. It'd be a kind of, oh, well, I suppose it would be a hard plastic thing. Anyway, plastic and kind of chrome look, which I think looks really nice, to be honest. It's quite slick and quite modern, and I really like it. I was getting into it in this house, to be honest. And you can see that I keep like that dialogue that keeps popping up is me changing the light intensity constantly. Because I keep messing up. I think it happens so many times in this. It's ridiculous. But that's okay. In the end, I was just like, whatever. I have to do this. Because I'm using these lights. And you can see in this room here. This is where I discovered like the lights are all over the place. And you have to keep turning them and rotating. The walls get really dark. Because they're not lit up for some reason. There's no ambient lighting from them. And look at that massively dark patch in the middle of the room. I don't know. It was hell to work with, to say the least. But in the end, I think it turned out alright. They look alright because you can see that it's kind of little circles on the roof. They're not really in your face. They're not in the way. I think they're pretty good. They work pretty well. They could work better, of course, but that's not to worry. We work with what we've got. So I don't know. I decided to put because this was always going to be a bedroom downstairs, but I decided to make it a double bedroom just because it could be. I guess it gave me kind of like a guest room or something like that. It wasn't really designed to be a proper bed, or like a family bedroom, like someone who lives in the house. But of course it could be. It is there. But the main bedrooms are here upstairs. The master bedroom, I think, is the one with the brown carpet. Well, will be. And then there's a blue one and a green one for children. And I suppose you can have another bedroom downstairs. You can also replace the study that was downstairs with a desk and computer with another bedroom if you want. But I thought, because that would make a fifth bedroom, I might just leave it for now. Because it's a pretty small lot. You could also turn the sort of living room in the basement into a bedroom as well. Actually, I don't think I've done the basement yet. I don't even know. No, I think I did that later. I think I did everything else and then the basement, because the basement was the worst. I didn't know what to put in there, and it was not good. Oh, that's what I forgot to do. I'm looking at my editor now, and because I have the pictures of the house at the end, but I haven't actually put them on the video yet, so I'm going to have to record that commentary separate. But that's okay, no worries. You can see the light issue here as well, how the walls are really dark and the floor is, I don't know, it's all over the place. Yeah, it's quite haphazard, to say the least, but we work around it. So, yes, that's pretty exciting stuff. Been rambling for how long? 8 minutes and 20 seconds. You'd think I'd have more to say, but I do, but whatever. Anyway, so in regards to like Let's Build a House series, I've been really wanting to do more of that, but it's also been limited by the projects I mentioned previously, and also because my grandma has been staying in our house for the last couple of months. So that's really limited the time I've had to record, because we've been doing stuff with her and all that kind of stuff. So it's just family-related stuff that kind of takes me away from this a bit more as well, so it takes up more time. Not that it's a bad thing. It's great hanging out with my grandma. Like, why wouldn't it be? But it's just another thing that takes away a bit of time that I have to do videos and that kind of stuff. But I really want to do them, but it's just, I know it's weird saying this, but I don't have, I don't have the time available. Like, I thought when I finished school, that's it. I have unlimited time to do everything, but I quickly discovered that wasn't true. And I don't even have a job. When I get a job, that will get worse, but yeah. Anyways, and so here's the basement. You can see it's such an awkward size, and I put that kind of living room in there, in that room on the right, because there's nothing else to do with it, and because there's double doors there, the entrance there, so it's kind of like that whole long thin room is kind of like an entrance, but it's also not, because it's such a it's quite a sizable room, but it's such an awkward shape that it makes it really hard to do anything in it. I was just looking, I was like, what the hell do I put in here? I ended up putting a piano or keyboard, as you can see there, and then a chess table. And then I put a treadmill in there, which it's an odd room, especially considering it has an entrance into the house in it. But I don't know. I honestly didn't know what to do with that room. Maybe when you guys download this house, you'll find something better to do with it than I did, because that was pathetic. I put the random table there with some flowers on it. I don't even know, and some magazines and a tissue box. Anyways, and then I do a barbecue area here, and then I think that's pretty much it for furnishing after this. And then I do a final touch up on landscaping and put in some bushes and ferns and that kind of stuff. Not too much, because often if you have too much landscaping, like a lot of bushes and stuff can look really nice, like ferns and flowers and all that, but this isn't a house that needed it, because it's kind of like a clean sort of modern styled house that doesn't, you wouldn't expect to have bushes and flowers and prettiness everywhere. It's not like a Victorian house where you expect to have flowers everywhere, flowers for days. And this place does not have that. It just has a few ferns, other flowers. But now we're going to see some screenshots coming up in a second, because the house is pretty much done. So enjoy the screenshots of the house, and I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.